You were tuned in to G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. Deontay Wilder trilogy clause in the contract for Tyson Fury has expired, according to various reports. And it seems like it's true. You know, when the news first came out, people was like, nah, that can't be the case. And I think it's true. I think it's true. And the fact that this has happened, just on its surface, it's alarming. On its surface, it's alarming. Hands down. Now, ultimately, do I think the fans are going to get Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3, the trilogy? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen in 2021. And I think they're really waiting for this whole COVID-19 thing to really blow over and things get back to normal. That's what they're hoping for. Like, they don't want to put on Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3 with 10% capacity, 25% capacity, or even behind closed doors. Like, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Like, they're just giving away money at that point. Like, they're going to be in the red. You understand what I'm saying? So that's something that they do not want. So when this story came out, after getting past the initial shock, I really had to ask myself, I'm like, well, is this the best circumstances for the trilogy? And the answer is no. The answer is no. Like, the best circumstances for the trilogy is not right now. Like, just the way the world is. And that's just God honest truth. But what I really wanted to get into was the fact that the clause actually expired. I gotta be real. I have to say this because there's a lot of people that I respect when it comes down to just boxing media, YouTube, and just boxing minds, period. But the more that I'm in boxing media, the more that I'm around boxing people, and people that cover the sport, it made me realize even more that people aren't consistent with their opinion. People are not consistent with their energy. People's opinion and energy are based off of who they like and who they dislike. And if that sounds like you, and deep down in your heart that's you, then you're no different than any mainstream media person or outlet that you complain about and you say that they're biased. You're no different. You're no different. And yes, that's a general statement, but I'm about to get real specific. Really specific. You have some people that are pro Al Haymon, pro PBC. You have some people that are pro Bob Arum, pro Top Rank. You have some people that are pro Eddie Hearn, pro Matchroom. You have some people that are pro DAZN. You have some people that are pro Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy. A lot of people had their picks. See, the one thing about G5 Jeff TV is I don't have a favorite network. I don't have a favorite promoter. I don't have a favorite manager. I don't even have a favorite current fighter. With G5 Jeff TV, it is really simple. If you doing something that's good, I'm going to salute you. If you want some bullshit, I'm going to call you on it. I don't care who you are, who you're affiliated with, network, or anything else. That's what separates me from a lot of different people. A lot of different people. Now, I said that to lead to this. The fact that Deontay Wilder is in a position now where his rematch clause has actually expired under Al Haymon's watch. Like, let's get it clear. Under Al Haymon's watch is bad. The fact that this has happened is bad. Okay? I'm not against Al Haymon at all. I think he takes care of his fighters. He does a lot of good things. And the fact that he's, a black man doing this thing, and I'm a black man, I love to see it. But the thing about people when they talk about Al Haymon is they act like he's exempt from mistakes. And when a mistake happens under his watch, they'll give him either A, the benefit of the doubt, or B, an excuse. The fact that Deontay Wilder's rematch clause has expired under Al Haymon's watch is a bad look for Al Haymon. And this is the part where I say people are not consistent in their opinion. They're not consistent with their energy. If this would have happened, this whole contract rematch clause expired. If this would have happened to Eddie Hearn and one of his fighters, y'all will be shitting on Eddie Hearn like nobody's business. That's facts. If this happened to Oscar De La Hoya and one of his fighters, y'all will be shitting on Oscar De La Hoya like nobody's business. If this happened to Bob Arum and one of his fighters, y'all will be shitting on Bob Arum like nobody's business. That's 100% facts. 100% facts. But the fact that this happened under Al Haymon, you get a bunch of different reactions like, well, I don't know what happened, but, Al Haymon's going to fix it. Al Haymon got it under control. Al Haymon's going to get everything together. That's not the same energy. Like, that's not the same opinion. Like, if another promoter or another manager allowed this to happen to one of their biggest fighters, as boxing media, as a boxing fan, like, you got to let him have it. Like, you got to let him have it. You got to let Al Haymon have it. Point blank period. Whether you like Al Haymon or dislike Al Haymon, the fact that this has happened under Al Haymon's watch, you got to get it Al Haymon just like you would get it any other promoter or any other manager that has allowed this to happen. "100% facts. 100% facts." Now, I think Deontay Wilder is going to get the third fight. He needs the third fight with Tyson Fury. To be honest with you, Fury doesn't need the third fight. Wilder does. Fury won the last fight. Wilder lost for the first time in his career, and he lost bad. Wilder needs the third fight. And I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to get it. No doubt about it. But the fact that Wilder is in this position is alarming, because a lot of people say Al Haymon is the most powerful man in the sport. He's the most powerful man in the sport. For this to happen under the watch of the most powerful man in the sport, Al Haymon, according to many, is a problem. It's a problem. And like I said, Al Haymon does great things, but the difference between Al Haymon and all these other promoters is that people don't hold Al Haymon accountable for when he does something wrong. Like, point blank period. Like, Al Haymon basically destroyed HBO boxing. That's a fact. But nobody holds his feet to the fire. A lot of the fighters that Al Haymon has now is because he was in cahoots with Richard Schaefer and took a lot of those fighters from under Oscar De La Hoya's watch. And I don't care what the paperwork situation was, that's what happened. That's why Richard Schaefer had the no compete clause with Oscar De La Hoya, had to sit out for 2-3 years, and you haven't heard from him since. That's facts. The Spike deal that PBC had, done. He has a Fox deal now. We got Yordenis Ugas in a bullshit main event. Sean Porter, bullshit main event. Like, Al Heyman's done a lot of bullshit too. He's done a lot of good, but he's done a lot of bullshit. And people do not call him on his bullshit because they like Al Heyman or they fuck with PBC. He's done a lot of fucking up too, just like Bob Arum, just like Eddie Hearn, just like Oscar De La Hoya. All I'm saying, keep the same energy. Apply the same logic and the same opinion as you would with an Eddie Hearn, with an Oscar De La Hoya, with a Bob Arum. Bottom line is this. The fact that Deontay Wilder is in no man's land right now. He is in no man's land right now because the trilogy, the rematch clause has expired under Al Heyman and Shelly Finkel's watch. It's just bad. It's just a bad move. And Wilder was in no man's land for a lot of different reasons. Who is he going to fight? Tyson Fury fighting in December against somebody to be determined. AJ is fighting Pulev. Dillian White is fighting Povetkin. Joseph Parker is fighting Junior Fa. Daniel Dubois is fighting Joe Joyce. Like, that's the majority of the big names at the heavyweight division. Even beyond that, the only people that's available is F.A. Ajagba. He got injured in his last fight, and he's on the opposite side of the street. Michael Hunter, he doesn't have a promoter, but that fight doesn't make any sense for Deontay Wilder. And then you have Andy Ruiz, Chris Arreola. They're not available. So who is there for Deontay Wilder to fight? Who is over in the PBC from a heavyweight standpoint that Deontay Wilder can fight that makes sense? Absolutely nothing. Wilder is in no man's land, and he's supposed to have the quote-unquote most powerful man in the sport in his back pocket. That's bad. That's bad business. That's bad for business. And what I want for people to do is hold Al Heyman accountable, just like you will hold Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, Bob Arum, and anybody else accountable. That's what we're about over here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.